Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It's time for our once a month segment with LTU Director Liz Elliott. Again, after some technology difficulties, we're finally kind of getting this segment started. Liz, thank you again, not only for your patience with me, but also for taking the time out of what I know is your very busy schedule to talk with us today. I know earlier today you were down at the city building helping accept a grant from the EPA. You're all over the place.
It's an exciting day, and I'm glad I get to spend part of it with you. So thank you for having me on again.
I appreciate it. Again, we have had a pretty busy month of January. We had talked about winter operations in one of our first two segments. It's been a while since I feel like we've kind of got to put those into practice because last season there just was hardly any snow. The same for the last season, but that's changed.
It has. We've had quite the January, and hopefully it's in like a lion, out like a lamb type theory, but we've been busy this month.
Very thankfully, it's not warm yet. It will be next week, but things have at least melted a little bit. Really hard to keep your car clean now, but streets, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're great now.
The warming always helps. And when you have, I don't know how many days, almost 2 weeks of those sub-zero temperatures, it makes it hard on everyone, including our streets.
It was rough. Okay, so we'll go ahead and dive on in here. We have a couple things we want to talk about, a couple things we want to show you. So first, again, if anyone missed, again, the segment we did a couple months ago or has kind of been living under a rock for the past 3 weeks, can you kind of walk us through the winter operations plan for Lincoln?
Absolutely. So we plan and prepare for winter weather all year round. It's kind of strange to be planning for snow in July, but that's what our team does. And one interesting fact that I don't think many people realize is that we have a written operation plan that was guided and created with a citizens group who a couple years ago analyzed Lincoln's weather, our tools available to us, our budget, our fleet resources, and they helped us write a plan that we use today and throughout any winter operations event that we are working in. In addition to that strategic plan, we invest over $6 million annually. Now that kind of depends on how much snow we get on if that's all needed or not. Looks like this winter we'll absolutely be using all of that. But that's because we know how important our transportation network is for everyone, whether you're riding a bus or driving your kids to school. It's vital to everyone. And then, as you may recall, just about 2 years ago, we invested another $3.6 million to buy 12 super combo trucks. And this really was the first time that we could get them out and really use them. And that investment has nearly doubled the city's capacity to remove snow from Lincoln streets over the last few snowstorms that we've had.
Did, did you hear good things? I mean, from those new super combo trucks. Again, you can be excited about them, but until you kind of use them, you never really know.
We have. It saves our team so much time because our older combo trucks, you either just did a liquid brine or you just did the granular salt and then each had a plow. Here we can do all three at the same time, which is more effective, more efficient, and we don't have to go back to the shop as often to refill. So it really has increased our efficiencies.
Good. What are some of the other tools that you guys are deploying out onto the streets? Again, I know there's a whole number of them.
We do. We have a number of tools, and as you know better than most, each storm is very different. And because of that, it depends what tools we use. We might we look at how cold is it. We look at how quickly will it warm up. And then we also look, is it a dry snow or a wet snow? And use that to determine the different tools. And we use our brine. That is considered the best practice in the industry. It's a liquid brine used to be put on the streets that will help snow and ice from freezing and bonding to the road. We also utilize rock salt, which is also a de-icing tool that helps break down and debond ice and snow. And then obviously our snow plows, that's a more visible tool that everyone sees. And then we do use sand. That's usually our last resort because research has shown that sand really is only effective for 3 to 8 vehicles driving over it, so passing over that area. So we use a combination of all of that. Again, we kind of look at what the temperature is. We might treat bridges differently because they cool faster because you have air underneath and on top compared to roads. So it just depends on the location and the weather forecast and the information you give us.
Yeah, I know with our, again, we kind of got a 1-2 punch because we got a really wet, heavy snow that melted, and then a couple days later, all of a sudden, it was 20 degrees below zero, and the snow we were getting was very light and very, very fluffy.
And I learned what a winter squall is, or snow
The
squall.
snow squall. It
That
was
also, the wind just makes things that much more difficult for everyone.
it was, a pretty quiet day for me up until that point when they issued that snow squall warning, and then everything just kind of hit the fan all at once. So
It did. It
I'm in
makes it
favor
hard.
of not doing that again.
Well, if you can help us with that, that'd be great.
You mentioned it though, but again, there are certain temperatures at which some of your tools they just become less effective. Ken Shimmick always likes to say, sometimes the weather just wins, and in this case, if it gets so cold, things like brine, they just don't work.
That's exactly right. So the granular salt only works to 15 degrees Fahrenheit. The liquid brine, we are able to utilize that in the colder below zero temperatures to about negative 15. But the colder it gets, the less effective it is. And that was really challenging that in this storm, which is different than most, is we had sustained below zero temperatures where the tools that we had just were limited because of that.
It was rough. Because that Monday, it snowed like 4 inches, but you wouldn't be able to tell because most of it melted. But then
Right?
it froze, and then more snow fell, and then that froze, and yeah, it
And
was
that's
rough.
and that's the beauty of Nebraska, right? We're in that perfect area of freeze thaw, freeze thaw. We're a little farther north, we just stay frozen. A little farther south, we don't freeze as much, but we've got the perfect blend right
I
here.
I always tell people you'd be surprised at how much just 1 degree would make a difference. But how again again the people again in the snow plows, the private contractors that you guys have contracted with, how's everyone doing? I'm sure everyone's probably ready for the warmer weather over the next couple weeks.
This team continues to amaze me. They really do take pride in their work. This is their community, so they want to also see the great work that they do. They worked 12 to 16-hour shifts daily almost 2 week for 2 straight weeks. And so they really did put in a lot of time. We did deploy our largest possible response, which is 165 fighters at any one time. That means we used nearly 400 actual snow fighters out on the roads day and night over a 2 week period. They did an amazing job. Their families didn't see them much for 2 weeks, but we do appreciate that sacrifice they made.
Yeah, I know sometimes people will get a little upset. Things aren't plowed or whatever. All these plow drivers, you guys are all driving on the same streets. We all want the streets to be clear. It takes time. I don't remember, was it 8,000 miles of city streets in Lincoln? Was that what it is?
So we have I all of a sudden blinking. It's 2,600 total lane miles here in
26.
town.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a lot of miles. And you guys have resources for those folks at home who might be wondering, well, when's my neighborhood going to get hit? When's my street going to get plowed? And we can actually pull some of those up, and you can kind of talk us through some of those tools that folks at home can use. So I'll pull up, here's the residential snowplow tracker if you want to kind of walk us through what this looks like during winter operations.
Yeah, a couple years ago, we decided to try and provide as much real-time information to the community as possible so they could see where the snow plows were and be able to track them. This is a website, this and the arterial map. These are up during actual winter operations time. So right now, if you probably went there, I don't believe they're up right now, but you can see, has the plow been in your area? Is it currently in progress? If it's green, that indicates that the plow has been there in the last couple of hours. And it's just a really good indication to see what the progress is. Now, kind of like we experienced today, technology doesn't always work with us, and sometimes it freezes on us, or for some reason, one GPS system isn't working. But more often than not, this is a really good place for people to go to see, have they been into my area. The second one, which you just popped up here, is our street camera network. I think we are probably one of the only communities in the nation that live streams pretty much all of our street traffic cameras. I know there's a few places out there that have one or two, but we have so many street cameras out there. We encourage people to look at them before you head out for the day. You can see, in addition to what they're seeing on 1011 News, they can see what the actual road conditions look like before they head out.
I would say there are very few, especially the major intersections in town. There are very few intersections that you guys don't have some sort of camera available. At least, if not that intersection, there's something in the area.
There is. We've really made it a priority over the years to add cameras because it helps our traffic team monitor situations, but it also is a benefit to the community.
And so again, if folks at home, if they want to submit, I don't know, claims or whatever, the city operations website is a great place. Again, a great resource where all of these things we're talking about are located, but a great resource to go to.
It is. You can just go right to the city website. In the search bar, you can type in winter operations or LTU, and you'll get to this website. We have that winter plan, that winter operations plan that I talked about. We have our Snow Angels volunteer program. We also have some good tips on there and FAQs about parking bans or other sidewalk removal requirements, those types of things.
And that's actually one of the things I wanted to ask you, Liz, is I know, during all this, you guys had said, hey, we could always use more snow angels. Is that a program that you've really seen develop over the years? I guess I looked at the map, and there's quite a few snow angels across town.
There are quite a few. We did have kind of a dip in numbers over the last couple years. So we're trying to get those numbers back up because that's a program that really does make a difference in so many people's lives that are unable physically, maybe due to age or mobility issues, that can't get out to scoop their sidewalks. And so this is a good opportunity to help someone in your neighborhood and get those sidewalks clear so everyone can walk down the sidewalks.
And Liz, before we let you go, I just wanted to ask one more question. It's not necessarily in our list of questions we had talked about, but it's that we're coming into pothole season. And again, just like I said earlier, everyone's driving on the same streets. No one likes to see the potholes. We want to get them fixed. For those folks who maybe have a bigger nuisance of a pothole, what's the best way
Yes.
for them to go about letting you guys know?
Uplink is the best place to know. It's on the website or an app, and that will give us the location. You can even take a picture of it if you'd like to do that. Uh, right after snow season is pothole season, and we're already out filling the potholes. We do about 100 to 150 every day, and we can't see every corner of the city every day. So hearing from the residents and letting us know where they're at, we'll be able to get out to them and get them fixed as soon as possible.
And say you guys can't fix them if you don't know about them. So,
Exactly. And we want to know about them. We're doing everything we can to get out there in 24, 48 hours to get those fixed. So let us know. Uplink is the best place. It goes directly to our team to get fixed.
awesome. Liz, is there anything else, winter operations, potholes, whatever else might be. I mean, I know you guys got a grant for recycling today. There's so much going on within LTU. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we let you go today?
There is so much going on. We really encourage people to follow us on social media so they can see the EPA recycling grant. They can see all of the best up-to-date winter operations, and it's just a good way to be connected with what's going on.
Awesome. All right, Liz, again, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for dealing with me and my technology failures. It's much appreciated. As a thank you, I'll give you temperatures in the 50s next week.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Again, that was LTU Director Liz Elliott. Thanks so much for her taking the time to join us today. Again, as always, again, keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of the latest news, weather, and sports. Hope everyone has a nice Thursday afternoon.